What's happening, party people? I have been struggling to find the best method of transformation, not just for myself, but for others. From the time I got introduced to this wonderful world of personal development, personal improvement, to being a voracious student of any and all things, books, audios, presentations, events, personal development, from the great Les Brown, listened to everything that he's ever put out on tape, going to his training events, personal development events, speaker training events, to Anthony Robbins and UPW, to T. Harv Eker and Peak Potentials, you name it. If I could get my hands on it and it had validity, there's a lot of, fake people and there's a lot of lightweight crap out there. No, those are heavy hitters that I just mentioned, and devouring it in many different shapes and forms, and not solely in the personal development space, but very solid individuals that are good at teaching principles from a religious perspective. If it's Joyce Meyer or Miles Monroe, the late great Miles Monroe. T.D. Jakes has some good concepts. There's a handful. Reverend Otis Moss III and the Reverend Dr. Otis Moss Jr. Great principles that they teach from a religious slant, but these are life lessons and principles that you can apply. From the time that I became a practitioner and then a teacher and trainer on the subject, I have been struggling to find the best method of getting the information and then executing on the information. Here's what I've come to understand in my short time on this planet. 98% of the people are going to do what 98% of the people do, which is very little to nothing. They're going to live below their own expectation. They're going to fall in line with the mediocre masses, and they're going to miss the opportunities, taking so much of their gifting, of their music, of their creativity and their imagination, taking so much of that into the graveyard. It was Miles Monroe who said the richest place on the planet is not in the diamond mines or the coal tanning mines in the Congo. The richest place on the planet is the graveyard, for that is where you will find people that took their music with them, songs never written or sung, books never published, ideas never pursued, canvases never painted, and because people shortchange themselves because they're born to win and yet programmed to fail, talking themselves out of opportunity as a habit, practice. How many times, think about it, in your own life, think about it. Maybe you've done it in the last 24 to 48 hours. How many times have you had an idea, an impulse to do something, to become something, to reach for something, to take a chance on yourself, to put yourself out there, and then you talked you out of it? How many times have you done that? And so we understand that this is a part of human nature. We are subject to our patterns. And so the reason so many individuals will start out the 2026 year in that first week of January with a renewed spirit and energies, because there's a collective consciousness around that. Because of the calendar, it's more available, that vibration of renewal, that vibration of reinvention, that vibration of hitting the reset button, starting fresh with a clean slate. But what happens is we're going to always revert back to our habit patterns. That's why how you train, how you study, how you learn, and then implementation, that is more important than the idea itself. It's more important than the aspirations that you have, because it was Coach Gino Amaretta. So I'm mispronouncing his name, the UConn women's basketball coach, University of Connecticut. What he said was, we don't practice to not make mistakes, to not get things right. He said, we practice and we train to such a level of intensity and consistency that we cannot get it wrong, because he understands, Gino, Amoretta. I'm messing up his last name. He understands that when you're under pressure, when you are stressed, when you are exhausted physically, and your body and your defenses and your guard is down, and you're just out there on pure instinct, you're going to revert and fall back to the habit and the patterns that you've established. And because he understands coaching and training, he trains his players to such a degree of intensity that even in the worst moments, it's not that they're trying to get it right, they cannot get it wrong. And so I'm going to be sending a morning message to you, a daily message, so that it's a constant reminder of the tweaks that we have to engage in. I'm going to be dripping on you with morning motivation, just like a bath or a shower. It works for a little while, but eventually it will become a habit.